Hello and welcome to Stoxies. In today's video, we're going to talk about one of the strongest companies in the biopharmaceutical sector, Novo Nordisk. This is a company that has attracted enormous attention in recent years, mainly because of its drugs that have transformed the treatment of diabetes and obesity. We'll look at the company's history, stock performance, financials, investor opportunities and risks, analysts' opinions. Stay tuned until the end of the video and you will not regret it. Let's get started. Novo Nordisk's story begins over a century ago in Denmark in the early 1920s. At that time, the discovery of insulin was one of the most important scientific breakthroughs in medicine. Two small companies, Nordisk Insulin Laboratorium and Novo Therapeutics Laboratorium, began producing and distributing insulin independently. For decades, these two companies developed in parallel, until 1989, when they decided to merge. This merger created Novo Nordisk as we know it today. Since then, the company has grown dramatically. It evolved from a business focused mainly on insulin and diabetes treatments into one that also works in areas such as rare diseases, hematology, and more recently, obesity. Today, Novo Nordisk is a global leader in diabetes care, with hundreds of millions of people worldwide using its products. It has also become widely known for weight loss drugs such as Ozempic and Wegovy, which have generated extraordinary demand. The company's mission remains clear: to help people with chronic health challenges. This dedication to innovation is one of the reasons Novo Nordisk has reached such heights. To understand how strong Novo Nordisk really is, we need to look at its financial fundamentals. The company has delivered exceptionally high sales in recent years. Demand for products like Ozempic and Wegovy has skyrocketed, generating strong revenue. Its profit margins are among the highest in the pharmaceutical industry, meaning the products not only sell extremely well, but also generate high profits. Novo Nordisk also invests heavily in research and development, which is crucial in the pharmaceutical sector. Without continuous innovation, companies fall behind. Novo Nordisk currently has dozens of clinical programs in progress, including new obesity and diabetes treatments, as well as more advanced drug forms such as oral GLP-1 versions. Another factor that strengthens Novo Nordisk's financial profile is its consistent dividend policy. The company has distributed dividends every year for several decades and has increased them in most years. This demonstrates healthy cash flow and stable profitability, qualities that matter greatly to investors seeking reliability and long-term stability. Finally, the company maintains low debt relative to its size, which reduces risk during difficult periods. Novo Nordisk's stock, traded under the ticker NVO, has experienced impressive periods of growth as well as significant volatility over the past 2 years. To better understand what a new investor is getting into, let's take a closer look at the stock's price movement, its returns, and the key financial events that have influenced the company. At the moment, the stock is trading at around $44, according to the latest available market data. Its 52-week range spans from $44 to $112, highlighting just how much volatility it has shown. In July 2025, the stock experienced one of its steepest declines in recent years, dropping by roughly 22% in a single day. This occurred after the company revised its forecasts for the 2025 financial year. This period confirms that even companies with a strong growth track record can face challenging moments when market expectations are not met. Despite last year's sharp decline, Novo Nordisk's long-term performance remains positive. Over the past 5 years, the stock has shown an average annual return of about +8 to 10%, depending on the source. This means that investors who entered the stock 5 years ago are still in profit today. However, the picture changes dramatically when we look at the returns of the past year. The 1-year annual return is around -54%, a figure that reflects the sharp decline caused by reduced profitability forecasts, increasing competition, and strong regulatory pressures. This combination shows that Novo Nordisk remains a company with solid long-term potential, but with several short-term challenges. The main reason for the sharp decline was the company's revised forecasts. Novo Nordisk lowered its expected sales growth for 2025 to 8 to 14%, down from the previous range of 13 to 21%. A similar reduction was made to the projected operating profit growth, which is now estimated at 10 to 16%, instead of the earlier 16 to 24%. At the same time, there were reports noting the largest monthly drop since 2002. This was attributed to increasing competition in the obesity drug market, as well as the introduction of cheaper, non-patented GLP-1 type alternatives. Additionally, pricing pressure in the United States, the company's largest market, is expected to affect profit margins, especially if regulatory interventions intensify. According to technical indicators such as the RSI, MACD, and moving averages, the stock currently shows strong sell signals. In the short term, the trend is downward. However, many investors and analysts believe that this decline may also create a potential entry opportunity for those looking to invest long-term. Their reasoning is that the stock has lost a large portion of its value very quickly, while Novo Nordisk still holds a dominant position in the obesity and diabetes drug markets. There is, of course, the opposite view as well, that the GLP-1 market may be overestimated and that expectations for endless growth do not reflect reality, especially given the increasing competition. Overall, the picture of Novo Nordisk's stock is both complex and clear. On one hand, it has demonstrated a remarkably strong growth history over the past decade, confirming the company's momentum and its ability to innovate. On the other hand, the recent sharp decline in price affects market sentiment and creates uncertainty in the short-term environment. Despite these fluctuations, the long-term outlook remains positive, provided that the investor is aware of the specific risks that need to be weighed. Furthermore, the stock's notable volatility highlights that a new investor must have patience and a solid understanding of risk before making any decision. In other words, Novo Nordisk remains a company with long-term value, but it is currently going through one of its most volatile periods. Let's now look at the reasons why some investors consider Novo Nordisk a particularly attractive choice. The first reason is the company's leading role in the fields of diabetes and obesity. Diabetes affects hundreds of millions of people worldwide, and unfortunately, the number continues to grow. This means there is a steady demand for pharmaceutical support. The second reason is GLP-1 medications, which have captured a huge share of the market. These drugs not only help with diabetes, but have also proven to be highly effective for weight loss. This demand has turned Novo Nordisk into one of the strongest pharmaceutical companies globally. The third reason is its financials. With high margins, low debt, and a consistent dividend, the company offers a balanced profile that appeals to long-term investors. The fourth reason is research. Novo Nordisk is not relying solely on Ozempic. It continues to invest in new technologies, new drug formulations, and new markets. This gives the company long-term growth potential. The fifth reason is its social mission. Many investors want to put their money into companies that have a positive impact on society. Novo Nordisk has built a reputation as a company that genuinely helps people who need it. Analysts appear divided. Many view Novo Nordisk as a company with enormous potential and recommend it as a buy for investors with a long-term horizon. They believe that the markets for obesity and diabetes will continue to grow for decades. Others, however, are more cautious. There is concern that the company may have reached valuation levels that are difficult to justify, especially when there are signs of slowing growth. There are also opinions suggesting that the recent drop in the stock price may offer an interesting buying opportunity, particularly for investors who look beyond the next few months and think in terms of the coming years. And this brings us to the end of the video. Novo Nordisk is a company with an impressive history, strong financials, significant innovation, but also important risks that any investor should be aware of. What about you? Do you see Novo Nordisk as an opportunity after the recent declines, or do you believe that the risks outweigh its potential? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching until the end. If you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos.